Injury update for you guys. So Ray remains in the concussion protocol. Alec looks like he's trending in the right direction. Get another look at him today. With that, time's yours.
What kind of look is Anthony Brown yesterday?
Yeah, it was good. One day, we had to walk through the day before, so it's really just been one day. Hopefully we can get a good look at it again today here.
Sean, there's been a billion stories written about kicker psychology and how they handle things. I wanted to ask, what are things that can be done to help them from the team, organizational, outside world standpoint? What are the do's and don'ts for managing a kicker over the course of his season or his career?
Yeah, I think it starts with not overthinking it. Honestly, it's not. I'm not certified in that field, but let's just start there. And two is going into the area that you talked about with, we have Dr. Des here and the job that she does. She does a phenomenal job and does a lot of, kind of work that's, I'll say in the gaps, if you will. It's just kind of the nature of that role, and does a great job connecting with the players at all the positions across the team. I think the mentality, the mental piece of the game is real and is very powerful.
Sounds like it's kind of hands off from the coaching standpoint then, do you think? Psychologically.
I wouldn't say, I would say it's probably team to team. For us, as far as we're concerned and how we do things, yes, there are some things that are hands off, and I let those people do their jobs. That's what they're qualified to do, and build those key relationships. I think there's a connected piece of that from a bigger picture point of view of week to week, day to day messaging, and also there's checking in with players and who needs a little bump once in a while of, hey, you're doing a great job, man, or I believe in you. I think those things are important. He's a rookie, right? And all rookies come in and we think we know some things about some, and others, in this case with Brandon, we didn't know much, just because of, I say we as coaches, because he didn't spend a lot of time with us. Wasn't a situation that, at the combine you get to spend time with some of these young players, and you can kind of get to a point of the tank is at least a quarter full, and then you fill in the rest from there. So I think he's done a really good job of doing a very difficult job. There's a lot that goes into that job in particular, other than just catching the football, but that is number one, catching the football. Beyond that, you've got to be a great decision maker, and I think that's sometimes overlooked or undervalued. And there's just so many decisions that you have to make in judging a ball. Do I field it? Do I let it go? And then the communication piece with making what we call Peter calls on shorter kicks, sometimes that are affected by weather and whatnot. So it's more than meets the eye in terms of the job description.
Sean, yesterday Todd Monken in Baltimore said the head coaching interview process is unfortunate, having to do it during the players still playing. If you agree, what is the right process?
Oh, man. It's been a while since I've been through, that. I can tell you from what I experienced, it's challenging to balance both, to be as prepared as you want to be for both situations, playing and then also, being able to interview at your best. And I do appreciate the league and their approach and how it's, like I mentioned, it's changed over the years, even since I went through it. They're trying to get it to where it's fair and conducive to being your best, and so I appreciate that from the league standpoint. And at the end of the day, we all have to, we all go through the same set of rules, so it's fair across the board.
Let's follow up on that. Earlier in the week, did you help Joe carve out some time this weekend to do those interviews?
You know, we communicated on that, you know, over the last couple of weeks. You know, at the end of the day, Joe has my full support, number one. I think he's earned that. And then two is, you know, everything in moderation, right? So keep the main thing the main thing. And but Joe's wired in the way that he is. He's a good person. He's a really good coach, and he does a great job of keeping things in proper order.
Sean, go ahead.
Sean, you've got a bunch of guys on this roster who have been with you for the past couple of seasons who have kind of lived through when you get to this round. You know, results haven't always been what you guys wanted. Just getting a read from them, talking to them this week is just, you know, what's in the past is in the past. Is, you know, what do you think leads to that mindset? And to the other side of that is how challenging is that to really push what has happened in the last couple of seasons and truly just kind of focus on what's ahead Sunday?
We don't. I mean, we don't live in the past. We learn from the past, but we certainly don't live in the past. I do think it's important to learn from it, though. And then overall, the journey for most teams who are, or most even individuals who are trying to get to the top of the mountain, very rarely is it just a straight, clean line, trajectory-wise. So sometimes you got to go through some adversity, and you have to learn from it. And listen, for some people, you know, they give up, they turn around and go back down. We don't give up here, and we keep working.
Given the fact that, this is my follow-up to that, is you have this roster this year is full of some new faces that haven't gone through that. Is that almost maybe necessary at this point when you've gone through a couple years of the misfortune in this point in the playoffs, to just have some guys who truly don't know what that's like, and maybe that can somewhat radiate in the locker room of, again, just keeping the attention to Sunday?
I think that's the natural evolution of, you know, building a roster year to year, number one, and, you know, and then I'll take you back to the early 90s. You know, were those years unsuccessful years? Those 4 years, I don't know if you were here then or not. Maybe you were. A lot of people were, and to me, those are great years, you know, in terms of what those teams were able to accomplish. To some, in particular, outsiders who don't live and support the Bills, those are disappointing years. I don't think those years will ever be replicated again, at least in professional sports. To do that 4 years in a row, and I look to those years and I'm saying that was a heck of a run, right? So, again, it's how you orient it in your mind. I think that's really where it starts.
How have you?
What's the give and take with, let's say, a quarterback like Lamar Jackson?
You got an hour to talk about it. I don't. I should have said, Tim, I don't have that much time. I wish I did. We can talk about it, but no, it's there's certainly give and take, you know, to both approaches. So he's unique for all the reasons that when you watch the television or the highlights every night, you know, after he plays, he's all over the TV screen, right? And really, you know, there's about 4 or 5 guys, Josh being one of them, Lamar being another, who are faces of the NFL right now, which and rightfully so.
There's never been more former players with a voice on all these different platforms. I know that you're not concerned about that, but the consistent thing that I've seen is Bills defense up front especially isn't big enough to deal with the Ravens. What do you say to that? Because it's kind of how you guys are built, and especially with the speed element at the second level. Are you big enough to deal with that?
Well, I guess we'll find out. There's really no way around it at this point, and I believe in our players wholeheartedly. And I wouldn't want anybody else out there right now than them to go against this offense. They're one of the best offenses I've been around in terms of going against in my 20-plus years in the NFL. And the challenge is a huge challenge, and very few, if any, have been able to stop them. So I think we know what lies in front of us, the challenge that is, and you know, so it's a big task to stop them, let alone manage them. Like I said, very few have been able to do that, even manage them. So I know our guys. They're not. They don't look at themselves that way, I should say. They don't look at themselves that way, and I love that about them. Good? All right, thanks.